We've gotten to that section of the show today, the Cornel West campaign. A lot of us don't have faith in it.
No.
It's gone in a crazy
Who
direction.
do you side with, Neo or Morpheus?
I don't know who I side
For president
with.
of Zion.
But let's talk
Matrix.
about this. This
Okay.
is interesting because I don't know. Do you remember the Mike Gravel campaign in the last election when he was running, but he wasn't kind of running? He had these young kids take over his campaign and run this campaign. And it was very interesting because we've said this from the get-go. Them making excuses, we have to hire Peter Dow, Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein going, oh, we needed somebody with experience. Like, no, you need political instincts, and you need to know how to maneuver throughout social media right now. There's a lot of stuff going on social media. If you get a social media buzz, if you have a right team there, if you can create some energy, you can get some bodies in the streets, and you can get some things going. I really compliment the RFK team for the videos they make on a regular basis. They have these heartfelt videos with the music and him talking, and you really want to watch these things. Cornel West has been lagging on that. So he's made a move. He's went from starting with the People's Party, which he had a lot of populist messages, went to the Green Party, lost a lot of that populist message where he's kind of abandoned any existential threats out there, doesn't know a lot about the WEF, the WHO. I did a video with him. I interviewed him.
Does he know now?
Well, it's interesting because we're going to talk about that because his new campaign team, take a look at it, right? Excited to introduce a first of its kind cooperative campaign management model led by a dynamic quartet, Anthony Karefa Rogers-Wright. I have a lot of experience with him from back in the days. I haven't spoken to him in a while. I'll talk about that. Ceyanna Dent, Edwin DeJesus, Edwin DeJesus or DeJesus. I know this guy. I know him well. He is awesome. I love him. And my good friend, she's been on the show back in the days, Madeline Merritt. I've just been texting back and forth with her. I'm a friend of her. I can just tell you a lot about her. We'll go into that. Just as Brother Coltrane's quartet reshaped jazz, this team symbolizes a new era of political engagement rooted in truth, justice, and love. Let us work together for transformative leadership that prioritizes people over profits, communities over corporations, and democracy over duopoly. Hashtag truth, justice, love. Hashtag West 2024. Hashtag new leadership. And there was a cartoon up there. And you can go to the website to see about the press release. Now, let's talk about this, right? I think a lot of us who are inside the bubble, who understand what's going on, inside the echo chamber, involved politically, have said this has been a disaster. This has been a joke, right? I think a lot of things, we said there's been a conspiracy to prove Jimmy right in a lot of situations that, Peter Dow being hired alone, which is crazy. Why would you do this? You hire this guy.
I know why, because you got hit with a big tax bill and your child support you didn't pay, and that's going to be held over your head unless you do as you're told. That's my guess.
Well, that's a good theory. You know what I'm saying? And listen, when it comes to that, I'm not going
to for him if that's what happened.
I don't even mention that stuff, the IRS and taxes, whatever the case may be. Who knows?
If you're running against the powerful, they're going to go in your record and find whatever they can to screw you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But me as a political commentator, I'm going to choose to go after him for certain things, and I've had my beef with him because he doesn't understand the existential threats. He hasn't paid a lot of attention to COVID. He hasn't spoke about for the workers who've been fired in New York and haven't been hired back. He has no thought process of CBDCs, you know what I'm saying? And, the whole framing Trumpers as neo-fascist and Biden's supporters as neoliberals. Way off right now. And especially
they have dimensions of fascism.
Characteristics of fascism.
I can't stop.
But let's talk about this. Let's play make pretend. Let's do our due diligence and talk about this campaign staff and talk about what they're about. Because there's 4 of them now, right? And I know 2 of them very well. A third one I've had some back and forth with back in the days. I haven't in a while. But let's talk about this because I don't know.
4 names? Is it the guy with 4 names that you had a back and forth with?
Well, the guy, yes. You know that. Well, how did you know that?
Because I take that as a well-to-do somebody whose parents are important, they're in college, and then you only have 4 names.
We haven't had a back and forth, and he only had 3 names when I had a fight with him. He didn't have the Karefa. He just had
those are upper class people. They always keep all their names, they hyphenate everything because it's like royal names.
Well, here's the thing. The 4 people that I know, I don't know one of them, but I can tell you from the 3 of them I do know, they are social justice warriors, but they are the common sense leftists, 2 of them that I know, where it's like I'm still friends with them, where a lot of people disown me because my thoughts and my feelings on the vaccine and on the elections, they say goodbye. These 2 people that are in the campaign stayed in touch with me.
So they're not SJWs at all. And they should kill that term.
A little bit.
Well,
they got a little SJW in them. You know what I'm saying? Not so much, but we'll go over that. Let's talk about this. The Cornel West campaign has announced the new campaign manager, which will actually be a group of 4 campaign managers. Since the West campaign didn't supply the bios of the new group, here's a quick rundown of each. And this was in the Cornel West for President chat on Facebook. So here's the first one. The one you said I had back and forth with, Anthony Karefa Rogers-Wright. Was this Anthony Rogers-Wright? He's had a little bit more back and forth with Nico and Fiorella. About well, I mean, he is definitely a social justice warrior. You know what I'm saying?
How?
Like what was the identity argument? Politics.
Oh,
identity politics. He let me know I have. He let me know I have privilege. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
A guy with 4 names. A guy with a hyphenated last name.
Well, listen, he's worked. Let's just say he's the director of environmental justice
what the
for
hell
New York
is that?
Lawyers for the public interest. Like I said, he's a social justice warrior.
Maybe stop putting justice on everything and phobia on everything. And also, social justice warrior, for the record.
You can see right here.
That term was an insult. It was never social justice, yes, was a legitimate term that Catholics invented. Social justice warrior was a sarcastic term to identity politics nitwits. So
in the States, but we used to call social justice warriors when we go, for Latin American solidarity. Those social justice warriors, I used to call the real social justice warriors because they were bringing, their information. They were highlighting in through transparency what these people in Latin America.
I'm sure they were.
So
the term's poison.
All right, so it is. And listen, I haven't spoke to him. I haven't had a back and forth from a while, but he has advised the presidential campaigns of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, and is very highly respected in the world of environmental justice.
What does that mean?
No notes, great hire, and that was from the guy police. That he's a green type of guy, right? So
next.
Okay, let's go to well, listen, I'm very interested.
I've already written him off.
I don't. Well,
I'm sorry, man.
No, you do your thing. I mean, that's your opinions. When I haven't had a back and forth with him in a while, but he is one of the guys. I would think that he would be the lead of this group, right? From his background. Working with Elizabeth Warren and whatnot. So the second person is Ceyanna Dent. I hope I'm saying your name right. Ceyanna, it looks like. Dent was a producer of Dr. West podcast, The Tightrope. Okay. She is currently the community support liaison for the Inner Fitness Project and is the owner of the advertising company White Paper Inc. Her background is mostly in marketing and advertising.
Okay.
So this is a young, energetic person who knows how to market, knows how to advertise. I like what she did with the Tightrope as far as advertising. And let me tell you something else. When I went looking for the Dr. Fauci video on YouTube, somebody had taken it down. It was on the podcast, the one you can listen to, but somebody had taken it down from the YouTube. So I like her sense. She's doing her job.
So she actually has a good. I better get this down.
Maybe I missed it or whatever. But I think it was taken down, and I think she did it. Whatever. Who knows? I don't know.
She's smart if she did.
I don't know who she is, but there she is. And once again, her background is in marketing and advertising. You can do a lot if you have a good background in marketing and advertising. If you understand how to highlight your candidate, get it out there, how to get something, go viral on social media. This is a good hire, I think, too, as well. Now, here's the guy that I love the most, right? This is Edwin DeJesus. He was a Green Party nominee for New York City Council in 2021, right? His main babackground is in film and TV, working predominantly as a production assistant.
Did we have him on?
Huh?
Did we have him on here?
I don't know if you did, but you can see him right here. That's him in the Medicare for All march right down there.
Good for him.
You know what I'm saying? He has also worked as a rally organizer for the Sanders campaign and was involved in the March for Medicare for All. I love this guy, Kurt, because I was looking for a lot of common sense leftists out there who weren't going to demonize me for my positions on the vaccine, for my positions on the mandates and whatnot. And this was that guy out there. You can see some of his tweets I put up here. Can we resurrect force the vote in 2023? Jimmy would like that, right?
So
there,
is he not like a rich kid? Because I assume the other
I don't think he's a rich kid. I don't know his background.
The ones that turn on you, they're all the same. They turn on you because they're with their class.
Yeah.
And they love pretending that they're an identity victim, but they're rich kids.
Yeah.
And anybody that says what he's saying there, I assume you weren't. If you are a rich kid, you're good for you if you like this.
Let's look at some more of this guy's tweets, because you can go down his Twitter. He's got to resurrect his Twitter because I think he does more work on Facebook. But this guy was awesome. I once saw a video of him at a city council hearing where he was yelling about the mandates and not giving these people back their job with their back pay. New York City Council claims to fight for bodily autonomy in the abortion bill, yet it continues to enforce unlawful vaccine mandates despite new CDC guidance. As if lockdowns didn't harm enough small businesses. The best decision I ever made was not voting for Joe Biden. This is Edwin DeJesus. Edwin, if you can get in there and you can tell Cornel West some of this stuff, right? New Yorkers still can't get jobs over this. Democrats are bodily autonomy, and this is Pfizer's COVID vaccine protection against Omicron. He was front and center talk about this
Have
stuff.
Cornel talk to brother Governor Kathy Hochul and tell her.
So here's this too. We can't stop demonizing. Can we stop demonizing the unvaccinated now?
Nope.
I don't know if the campaign knows this. He might lose his job right now. Like, we might be exposing him. But he talked about this is from the prior COVID infection, protected from the Delta than the vaccine. You know, listen, this guy was front and center when it came to this stuff. He was unlike a lot of the progressives from the Bernie Sanders movement. He refused to vote for Joe Biden. He said, stop blaming the unvaccinated. He spoke out against mandates. He spoke out against lockdowns. If a campaign manager can influence somebody in a good way, this is the guy right here, Edwin DeJesus. We follow each other for quite some time. Hit this Twitter up. Hit me up, Edwin. We'll talk. But this is good right here. I like this hire, Kurt, and I'm excited about it. Even though Cornel West has gone through this whole situation, he might be dead in the water. I said this before. For the normies out there, for the people who haven't gotten their mind going yet, there's still a chance to grab him, and I like this hire right over here. Your thoughts?
I look forward to talking to him when he becomes severely disillusioned by the man that he was hoping to make some positive change.
Yeah. You don't think he can be influenced? Listen, if Cornel West hired this guy...
How many great Bernie employees... You know, I met a bunch of people that used to work for Bernie since I started doing this show.
Yeah.
Like Orfila did, and like... Yeah. And they're all very disillusioned. And
am I disillusioned? I didn't work for Bernie, but I campaigned for him. I was on the streets.
Not disillusioned with Bernie?
Yeah. I know
you're
Bernie
still illusioned with Bernie.
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
Here's the bottom line.
Some people won't let go, though. They still think you're still saying there's a chance. They're doing the Dumb and Dumber, right?
If Cornel West actually gets that many votes, is he going to hold Joe Biden hostage to get stuff we need or not? That's a really only question. I don't think he could beat Joe Biden or Joe, but will he hold the entire election hostage? That's what a guy has to do, or a woman who gets that far. Or will he go, no, you got to vote for Biden because Trump is worse? It comes down to that.
I get you. I don't know. I don't think Edwin DeJesus has that type of power to do that, but I definitely like this hire. I think it's a good hire. Now let's get to the fourth one. My good friend, Madeline Merritt. Let me just talk about Madeline, right? So I've worked with Madeline. Like, I've organized with Madeline. Edwin DeJesus is an organizer. Madeline Merritt, an organizer. They know how to organize her. But this one person right here that I know, and I'm not just saying this because she's my friend, she was one of the most common sense organizers I was there. She was always the voice of reason. You know what I'm saying? I understand why they gave her this job. You know, there are a lot of things we disagree. And one of the, I haven't had a chance to have a conversation. We've been texting back and forth. We're going to have a conversation. But I remember one of the conversations we had about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and we were talking about libertarians, and she's like, yeah, but you're kind of aligning yourself with these libertarians. I don't know about that, Pasta. But she was open to listening. And I think it's great now because that Rage Against the War Machine, right? It's the libertarians now who are standing with us against what the Israeli government's doing.
Why is it bad to in any way be aligned? I don't understand. If I agree with
there's a whole thing about it that the Southern Poverty Law Center wrote about. What's her name?
She doesn't listen to the Southern Poverty Law Center, does she?
Medea Benjamin and all these other people would talk about how there's a lot of people. The libertarians don't have the same type of language that the progressive left does when it comes to racial issues and whatnot. And a lot of them could say stuff that is just stupid sometimes, right?
Yes,
like the New Hampshire,
they should be
dumb
friends.
stuff.
They should be friends with the left based on that.
Yeah.
How they both say stupid shit all the time.
I know.
That should make them friends.
Yeah, but Kurt, don't get so excited.
No, as soon as I go, look, whenever I hear a hint of lunch table nonsense, I'm like,
I get that. But when you say stupid stuff like Nina Turner should go back to her own country, and somebody in a big organizer in the New Hampshire Libertarian Party said that stuff, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Okay. That turns these people off.
To every single libertarian is bad because. I mean, how would that work for the other parties?
It's a state party affiliate, but that's the whole thing.
Get over parties, everyone.
Listen. I try to explain to some people it's a decentralized party. You're going to have a decentralized... It's hard to have a centralized measures when you have a decentralized party. I can look the other way, but a lot of people can't. But let's talk about Madeline Merritt because she's awesome. She's the chair of the Oregon Public Banking Alliance.
What's that?
The public banking movement in California was finding a way to divest from all the major banks. In other words, during the Standard Act.
In Montana, or where is it?
Yeah, I think it is Montana.
The only one in the country that's never failed?
It's a way to get away from... It's a divesting movement, blah, 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 blah. It's a way to divest from the major banks out there.
State banks,
a public bank. Now, listen, they can get a little bit more involved with crypto and understanding what's going on. And they're still dealing with the Fed and our money system. So it's not all cherries on top of whipped cream, but it's a great thing. She worked for it in California. Now she's in Oregon working it over there. She's also the director of fundraising for Nina Turner's 2022 run. A field organizer for Sanders' campaign. She worked for the Sanders campaign. We used to go have sushi together and have a lot of conversations.
She's due for a win?
And a project manager for Sustain Standing Rock. She went to Standing Rock.
Well, good for her.
She walked the walk. She talked the talk. This is Madeline Merritt. And even one time when she was one of those people that she was trying to work with some of the uppers in the California Democratic Party because she thought it was the best way to get things done. She received a lot of criticisms for that, but she can, once again, she could stand in there and talk. She doesn't get emotional. Like I said, she's the voice of reason. You know, when you get a bunch of progressive organizers in a room, you can't order lunch. She's one of those voice of reasons. I understand why she got that job. She's also worked as an actress for a decade.
What was she in?
I don't know. But here it is, the Public Bank LA. And that's
I like this idea a lot.
This is the Public Bank LA.
North Dakota. They have it in
North Dakota. That's it.
And that bank has not failed and lost everybody's money.
She was also very vocal, Kurt, when Biden knifed labor unions in the back. They shouldn't forget it. You know what I'm saying? And she was right there. It's past time we took our party back. The things we would disagree with is she felt that she can get the party back, that they can go in there and get the party back. I hope that this, Edwin and Madeline, and even Anthony Rogers-Wright and what's the other person's name? Diana, I believe her name is. Did I say her name wrong? I always said her name wrong. I hope they listen to a lot of people, other voices out there. Now, right out of the gate, Kurt, remember we talked about those videos? Let's get that kind of like populist message going, or let's get out there. They got a video right out of the gate. Let's take a look at this. Is a Cornel West video. Check it out. This is his newest video that came out right as the announcement of the fearsome foursome, or the Fantastic Four, whatever you want to call them, have been announced as campaign managers.
We've got to sustain our solidarity at this moment because they're trying to divide and conquer. They're trying to break the spirits because it's brothers and sisters of all colors out here together. They fighting together, they laughing together, they crying together, they dancing together. They got to stay together in the face of this tremendous power. But corporate leaders ought to understand, and greedy bosses ought to understand that they think they're mighty. But there's something mightier.
Solidarity forever! Solidarity forever!
And that's the people in solidarity with each other, with a moral and spiritual force behind them.
All right, so
that's good, but I'm telling you, he would be wise to say it's not race and gender, it's class.
Yeah,
class is not downstream from race and gender and sexuality. Like, I think a bunch of like whatever label they give themselves think that is still legit. The guy with 4 names, I bet, still says that. And that's gonna sink like a stone, because I don't want to hear, after we gave everybody's goddamn money to real Nazis, I don't want to hear about white supremacy no more. We supported we're going to give more money to Nazis.
Yeah.
So shut up about that. Say how we all belong together. It's class.
Yes.
It's not race. It's class. Start doing that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even like the term solidarity because it's been, white.
It's all commied up.
It's been washed out, and I get what he's saying, because everybody's like, we stand in solidarity. Well, what does that mean? And to tell you the truth, if you want to form an alliance in this way, because that was a big win in that strike, right? So they got the strike, they got the big win. He was out there and stuff like that. If I was him, I'd pick up the phone, get on, Jimmy, let's patch stuff up, let's talk, let's get a new way going moving forward. I would do that because, this is a new opportunity for him right now. I'm hoping maybe that
the first person that drops all the buzzwords that I've heard my whole life, like solidarity and blah, bleep, all those dumb words, and just get on, here's the problems. People don't have health care.
Yeah.
People aren't making enough money. Just hit those things and don't use any of these words, and you get some dumb consultant go, that's a sticky, put a hashtag in there. Yeah. All that crap, cut through all the bullshit. That's all you got to do. Is cut through the bullshit. Trump's a liar, and he was just able to cut through the common bullshit of the chattering classes, even though he's a liar. Yeah. And everybody loved it. Yeah. Imagine a guy that's a good guy doing that.
Yep. And listen, my interview with Dr. Cornel West, this is something I talked about in language. Do you want to get those people out there? You say you want to get outside your echo chamber? Well, get outside your echo chamber. Get outside your bumble. If you want to grab these people, change your language. To hell with these buzzwords, like you said. Let's use the real words. It's about class solidarity, not just solidarity. Class unite. You know what I'm saying? Over these situations, then you can make some leeway. Listen, I'm excited for these kids to get the opportunity they got
to learn that government's a waste of time and that they can't make change.
I gotta talk to them about some elections. But listen, Edwin and Madeline, I know them well. I know Madeline very well. We're friends. And, maybe they can turn this thing around. I don't know. I still think it's early in the game. But I want to know, Rich, I wrote down some questions, some things, right? I want to know how 4 of these guys are going to work together with all these cooks in the kitchen. That's a lot of cooks in the kitchen right now. So I want to know how they're going to compartmentalize and do these things.
Whatever hurts the establishment, whatever hurts Democrats, whatever hurts the Republican establishment, I'm for it. In the end, because I really like them being upset. I don't get much joy out of any of the other. I know it's the most important election of my lifetime.
Always. Well, the normies are back in play, I think, because they get these little videos, these
the
these
norms
messages.
are back in town.
The norms are back in town. Well, listen, they play these videos. They understand that part of social media. This team understands that. Edwin understands that. Anthony Rogers-Wright understands that. Obviously, what's her name, who worked on the tightrope, understands that. So there's an opportunity there, I think. Ballot access. Who is working on ballot access? Time is running out, right? Who is working on ballot access? My question to you, Kurt, is do you think this is an upgrade, or you don't know, or you think it's a downgrade from Peter Dow?
I mean, clearly, Peter... Obviously, they're not actively trying to make sure he'll fail, as Peter Dow obviously did. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm not saying I can read Peter Dow's mind. I'm just saying he took Cornel West off of ballots.
17 states.
So clearly, the guy's the best at what he does, which is screwing up Cornel
West. He claimed that he was in debt. Now he's got $100,000, which is like nothing. I'm like, come on, Peter Dow. Yeah, he was going back and forth to do dissidents, and... He's still crying about stuff.
Then get behind RFK then, because at least he's like going to raise them $100,000.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Yeah, but we'll see. That's the new fearsome foursome for the Cornel West campaign. We'll see. I'll be in touch with them. I'll be talking to them. I'm going to be hitting up their phones.
Look, after it's all over and it goes nowhere, I'm going to be interested because I really genuinely like a lot of people I've met. Like you worked for Bernie, right?
No, I volunteered for Bernie. I never got hired. Madeline actually worked for Bernie.
Okay, but I met a bunch of people that worked for these candidates that, like I said, I always hated leftists. Barry Crimmins, my friend Barry Crimmins is dead now, told me there is no left in this country.
Yeah, there is no left.
Right, but at the time I was like, you could have fooled me, Barry, because I'd had their wall of driveling bullshit come at me. But Barry was right. There isn't. There isn't one. And now people I meet that worked on these things, the ones that are sincere, I like them a lot. Every single one I met that was genuine, I've liked every single one of them.
Yeah.
I can't stand identity politics people. I think they're scum.
You got 2 people that I know very well. This guy, Edwin. This is a true leftist right here.
By the way, it is DeJesus.
This is a true leftist here. As if lockdowns didn't harm enough small businesses. I'm not voting for Joe Biden. Coming openly is saying it.
Well, look, I don't care.
We stop blaming we stop blaming the unvaccinated? New Yorkers still haven't got their job back.
I don't care if he's a leftist or a rightist. Those labels are real stupid now. Everyone should drop them. If he says a thing, you could be a bad person inside. Do the thing that I want you to do. Cool, man. That's all I'm judging on. I'm not judging if I like you.
Well, you don't remember the Gravel campaign, right? Like those kids with the Gravel campaign who...
No.
They turned out to be wackadoos anyways, but at one point I was like, please stop after he passed away. Like, you're pissing on his name. Just close the account, move on. Don't talk for Mike Gravel anymore. But during the whole situation, they found a way to get videos, to catch on fire, to get more information. Gravel came on this show. He talked about it with Jimmy Dore. Sanctions are an act of war. He was explaining
Sanctions are
that.
terrorism. They're absolute terrorism.
He was able to say that and really caught fire on this show. So, I don't know. This is going to be exciting. This is at the very least, this is very interesting. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. You guys let us know what you think about the new 4 people campaign manager. It's kind of interesting they're doing this. They never did something like this before. So we'll just have to wait and see. I will be on the horn with them. I'll be calling them. Madeline, call me after the show. We have to talk. I want to know how you guys are going to lay it out. I want to know what the plan is. I want to know how you're going to compartmentalize. I want to know how you're going to get ballot access. I want to know how you're going to get Cornel West to be more of a populist, get that populist message out there. I want to know all these things. We'll be in touch.
Come see us doing live shows. We're going to be in Levittown, Red Bank, New Jersey, Wilmington, Delaware, Covina, California, Burbank, California, Oxnard, California, Venice, California, Palmdale, California, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, Milwaukee, and Lansing, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.